Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and felt like you were staring at a stranger? Not the confident, capable person you once imagined you'd be, but a reflection that feels hollow. A face that hides fatigue, disappointment, and silent regret. The kind of regret that whispers, "You should have done more. You could have been more." Days blur into nights. The alarm rings, you rise, you move, you function, but you don't live. You're surviving, not thriving. Every morning feels heavier than the last, and the world around you spins faster while you remain frozen, trapped between what you were and what you could still become. You tell yourself you're fine, but deep down you know you're crumbling. The truth is brutal. Somewhere along the way, you lost focus. Not all at once, but piece by piece. A distraction here, a compromise there. Slowly, your purpose faded. Your fire dimmed. You began living on autopilot, scrolling through other people's lives, comparing, envying, decaying in silence. You stopped fighting. But the most dangerous prison isn't built from walls or steel, it's built from comfort. From the illusion that tomorrow will fix everything. That somehow, someday, you'll just wake up ready to change. But you never do you? Because comfort has a way of whispering, "Stay here, it's safe." And safety is how dreams die. You start making excuses, blaming the job, the people, the system. You tell yourself you're unlucky, that you weren't given the same opportunities. But deep down, beneath the noise, you know the truth. It's not the world that's holding you back. It's you. It's the weakness you keep feeding. The voice that says, "It's too late." The habit of giving up before you've even started. You've been waiting for motivation to come back, as if it's some divine spark that will rescue you from inertia. But motivation doesn't come. Pain does. Frustration does. Guilt does. They visit every night, right before you sleep, reminding you of everything you're not. And maybe that's the point. Because no one truly changes when life is comfortable. Transformation begins when everything breaks. When you have nothing left but the choice to either stay broken or rebuild. Tonight, as you sit in the quiet, feeling that ache in your chest, understand this isn't the end of your story. It's the reckoning. The universe doesn't destroy you to end you. It destroys you to rebuild you stronger, sharper, wiser. You're not falling apart. You're being forced to reset. What if I told you that your weakness isn't your curse, it's your doorway? That every time you've fallen, failed, or faded into the background, life wasn't punishing you. It was preparing you. Testing whether you'd finally get tired of being average. Whether you'd finally look at yourself and say, "Enough." Because here's the truth most people never face: the reset doesn't begin when life gets easier. It begins when you get brutally honest. When you stop pretending. When you stop waiting for the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the perfect mood. The reset begins the moment you decide that the version of you who keeps breaking, doesn't get to exist anymore. Stay with me till the end of this story, because if you do, I promise you'll walk away with something real. Not just motivation. Not fake positivity. But the raw understanding of how to rebuild yourself from the ground up. And when you learn that, you'll never need another motivational video again. Let's be clear, restarting your life isn't about deleting your past. It's about rewriting your relationship with it. You're not supposed to erase your mistakes. You're supposed to dissect them, pull them apart, study the pattern, and use them as fuel. The world tells you to move on, but growth doesn't come from running away. It comes from standing still long enough to face your reflection, to see the scars, the failures, the missed chances, and say, "This time, I'm not running." When you finally make that decision, something inside you shifts. You begin to see how every excuse you've ever made was just fear wearing a different mask. Fear of change. Fear of judgment. Fear of being powerful enough to actually make it. Because power demands responsibility. Once you take control, You can't blame anyone else. That's why most people never reset, because it requires killing the parts of you that keep you weak. And destruction, even of the self, is never gentle. You'll have to face sleepless nights. You'll have to cut off people who drain your energy. You'll have to break habits that once made you feel safe. It will feel lonely. It will feel uncomfortable. But that's the cost of rebirth. Every morning, when you open your eyes, you'll hear two voices, one that says, stay the same, and another that whispers, start again. The one you choose to listen to will decide the rest of your life. So here's the challenge for the next 7 days. Before you sleep, ask yourself one question: what am I doing that keeps me weak? Don't justify it. Don't sugarcoat it. Just face it. Because awareness is the first step to freedom. You can't restart your life until you know what's actually stopping it. Have you ever wondered why it's so hard to change, even when you know you need to? You tell yourself you'll wake up earlier, work harder, eat better, stop wasting time, but somehow, the cycle repeats. You fall, you promise, you fail again. And every failure chips away at your belief that change is even possible. But here's the truth: you're not weak. You're wired. You've built your identity around who you were, not who you could become. Rebuilding doesn't start with doing more. It starts with becoming aware of what must die. The old version of you, the one built on comfort, fear, and hesitation, has to burn. You can't carry that identity into your new life. You can't rebuild while clinging to the rubble. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they refuse to let go of their old story. They keep replaying the same mental film, the one where they're the victim, the one where nothing works out, the one where it's always someone else's fault. But you, if you're still here, listening to this, you're not here to replay. You're here to rewrite. You have to dismantle yourself piece by piece. Take apart the lies you tell yourself: I'm not ready, it's too late, I've failed too much. Every one of those thoughts is a chain, and you've been dragging them through every chapter of your life. But here's the secret: you were never locked. You were holding the key the entire time. You just never believed you deserved to use it. Rebuilding means doing what's uncomfortable long enough for it to feel normal. Waking up early even when it feels pointless. Saying no to distractions even when they call your name. Choosing discipline over comfort, again and again, until it becomes instinct. And yes, it will hurt. You'll question why you're doing it. You'll have nights where you feel like quitting all over again. But in that pain, something beautiful happens: the old you starts to fade. Slowly, you begin to see glimpses of someone stronger in the mirror. Someone quieter, calmer, sharper. Someone who doesn't seek approval because they've learned to approve of themselves. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. Every day you resist the urge to fall back, you're rebuilding the foundation of your future. Every time you stay focused when no one's watching, you're proving that your strength doesn't come from validation, it comes from conviction. So don't rush this process. Don't compare your progress to anyone else's highlight reel. Rebuilding isn't supposed to look glamorous. It's supposed to look like work. Quiet, repetitive, thankless work. But that's what separates the ones who dream from the ones who rise. Your reset has begun. Your restart is in motion. Now comes the hardest part: staying focused when the world tries to pull you back. When was the last time you truly saw your life not through the noise of distractions, but through the lens of purpose? Most people drift because they don't lack effort, they lack clarity. They wake up, scroll, rush, work, complain, repeat, and then wonder why they feel lost. It's not because they're lazy. It's because they're unfocused. And an unfocused mind is like a blade dulled by chaos, it can't cut through anything. Refocus begins the moment you stop chasing everything and start committing to one thing. That one goal that aligns with who you truly are, not who the world wants you to be. The truth is, you can do anything but you can't do everything. Focus is the art of saying no to almost everything, so you can say yes to what actually matters. Ask yourself, what do you really want your life to mean? What is worth your time, your energy, your breath? Because if you don't decide, the world will decide for you. It will fill your days with noise, your mind with distractions, and your heart with emptiness disguised as comfort. Every time you pick up your phone instead of your purpose, you're voting for weakness. Every time you say I'll start tomorrow, you're handing over another day of your life to nothingness. The strongest people aren't those who never fail, they're the ones who've learned to silence the noise and keep their eyes locked on their mission. Refocus requires discipline, yes, but more than that, it requires self-respect. You have to respect yourself enough to stop wasting your potential. To look at every wasted hour and understand you'll never get that piece of your life back. Every distraction steals from your destiny. Every hesitation costs you progress. You have to train your mind to see through the fog. To wake up and ask, what must I do today that moves me closer to who I want to be? Then do it. Even if it's small. Even if it's boring. Because success isn't built in explosions, it's carved in silence. In the unseen moments, when you stay disciplined, when you choose progress over pleasure, when you do the work no one will ever applaud you for. There will be times when you lose focus again, when old habits sneak back, when comfort whispers your name. In those moments, remember this: every time you refocus, you realign your life. You recenter your direction. You remind yourself that your story isn't over, it's being written one decision at a time. Refocus isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware. And awareness, that's your superpower. Because the moment you see your distractions, you can choose to destroy them. Your weakness doesn't define you. Your focus does. What if I told you that your biggest enemy isn't out there, it's in here? It's not the people who doubt you. It's not the circumstances that hold you back. It's the voice inside your head that whispers, you can't. That voice is weakness, subtle, deceptive, and patient. It waits for the right moment to strike. When you're tired, when you're uncertain, when you start to rise, that's when it returns, offering comfort disguised as peace. Weakness doesn't destroy you overnight, it seduces you. It tells you that rest today means power tomorrow. That skipping your goals just once won't matter. That maybe you're not meant for greatness. But every time you listen, every time you give in, it grows stronger. And before you know it, weakness becomes your identity. You stop fighting because you start believing that this version of you is all you'll ever be. But here's the truth you've avoided for too long: weakness is not permanent. It's a habit, and habits can be broken. Destroying weakness isn't about shouting louder or pretending you're fearless. It's about discipline. The quiet kind. The kind that shows up even when no one's watching. The kind that says, I'll do it anyway. You destroy weakness by starving it. Every time you choose action over excuses, you cut off its oxygen. Every time you embrace discomfort instead of running from it, you bury weakness a little deeper. It's not a battle you win once, it's a war you fight every day. You'll lose some days. You'll wake up tired, uninspired, and tempted to fall back. But the difference now is awareness. You'll see the weakness when it arrives. You'll recognize its tricks, its tone, its timing. And instead of listening, you'll smile, because you'll know the war is working. You'll know you're changing. Weakness thrives in silence, but so does strength. The difference is what you feed in that silence: fear or focus. The strongest people you admire? They weren't born fearless. They were just tired of losing to themselves. You have to reach that point, the breaking point, where you say, I'm done being my own obstacle. The moment you declare war on your weakness, the rest of your life begins to shift. This is where you take control back. No more negotiating with comfort. No more surrendering to laziness. No more believing that your potential has an expiration date. Weakness is loud, but your will must be louder. Because every time you choose to fight, to act, to persist, to endure. You're rewriting your story. And the best part? You're proving to yourself that you were never weak. You were just untrained. Have you ever realized how much of your life you've spent waiting? Waiting for the right time. Waiting for confidence. Waiting for a sign that it's safe to begin. But here's the truth: no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to give you permission. The future you want doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It waits for you to act. Rebuilding your future starts the moment you stop asking for approval from the world, from others, from the version of yourself that's scared to fail. You've spent too long tiptoeing around your own potential, dimming your light so others won't feel uncomfortable. But listen closely, you were not born to blend in. You were born to break patterns. Rebuilding is not about becoming someone new, it's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. That spark inside you, the one that once believed you could do anything, it's still there. It's buried under fear, under disappointment, under years of settling, but it's not gone. It's waiting. Your future won't be built by luck. It'll be built by repetition. By showing up when it's hard. By working when no one's clapping. By believing in yourself when it feels foolish to do so. People will doubt you. Some will laugh. Some will disappear. That's fine. Their disbelief isn't your burden, it's your advantage. Because while they talk, you'll be building. Brick by brick, day by day, you'll start to see the foundation form, a new life built not on emotion, but on discipline. A future designed not by chance, but by choice. You'll notice your circle shrinking, your habits sharpening, your peace expanding. You'll start to feel that quiet strength, the kind that doesn't need validation, only progress. And here's the secret: the future doesn't belong to the smartest, or the strongest. It belongs to the ones who persist. The ones who get up after every failure and whisper, again. You have to stop waiting for clarity and start creating it. You have to stop waiting for the perfect plan and start moving with imperfect action. Because movement creates momentum, and momentum builds miracles. Someday, you'll look back on this version of yourself, the one sitting here now, listening, questioning, doubting, and you'll smile. Because that version didn't give up. That version chose to rebuild. So here's the truth: your future isn't ahead of you. It's inside you, waiting to be built by your decisions today. You are not who you were, you're who you decide to become next. What if, one day, nothing could shake you anymore? Not rejection, not failure, not doubt, nothing. Imagine waking up with the quiet certainty that no matter what life throws your way, you'll find a way through it. That's not arrogance. That's mastery. That's what it means to become unbreakable. But understand this: becoming unbreakable doesn't mean life stops hurting. It means you stop running. You stop letting pain define you. You stop treating struggle as punishment and start seeing it for what it really is: training. Every disappointment, every loss, every sleepless night was sculpting something in you that comfort never could: resilience. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid pain. They hide from failure, silence their emotions, pretend everything is fine. But the truth is, avoiding pain only multiplies it. Every time you turn away from difficulty, you strengthen your fear. Every time you face it, even trembling, you weaken it. Courage doesn't erase fear, it teaches you how to act in spite of it. You see, the people who rise the highest aren't those who had an easy path. They're the ones who refused to break when life tried to destroy them. They took the betrayal, the heartbreak, the exhaustion, and used it as fuel. They built fortresses out of their scars. They didn't wait for the world to be kind, they learned to be fierce. And that's where you are now. You've reset. You've restarted. You've refocused. You've destroyed your weakness and started rebuilding your future. But now comes the final phase: transformation into someone who can never go back. To become unbreakable, you must anchor yourself in purpose so deeply that no storm can move you. You must stop living by emotion and start living by principles. Discipline becomes your armor. Focus becomes your weapon. Faith not in luck, but in your ability to endure becomes your foundation. There will still be days when doubt knocks on your door. Let it knock. You don't have to answer anymore. You've already chosen who you are. The world no longer gets to decide that for you. When you become unbreakable, you stop chasing outcomes, you start mastering process. You stop fearing loss, you start trusting growth. You stop begging for peace because you are peace. This is the version of you that no longer flinches when life gets hard. The version that stands tall in the chaos and says, "Try me." Because you've realized something that changes everything. The world doesn't get easier. You get stronger. And when you do, when you reach that state of relentless clarity and calm fire, nothing can stop you.